Tonight, we are wrapping up. It's been 6 weeks. This is the final class in voice mastery and vocal health for Public Speakers 101 here at TikTok, or I should say Hillman Talk University. I committed to showing up every week and sharing information about voice for public speakers. And tonight is the night. If you have any questions as we finalize this, or if you want to see it continue, maybe on a semi-regular basis, you want me to show up and do classes or show up and do vocal warm-ups, tell me what would help you unleash your best voice. We're going to get into tonight's topic as we finalize. Again, it's embracing your best voice. This was, I guess, going 2023 going into 2024. I was driving, so I kind of have these moments of inspiration. Walking is a time for me to reflect, and I often get these amazing downloads. And I was driving. I think I was going into the office, and I was thinking about my new year. I was thinking about how I wanted to show up better. And FYI, my birthday is considered my new year. My birthday is in October. I celebrate all year. But I was thinking, what is my word? What is my word? And so that word for that year was best. But it wasn't just best in terms of I want to drive the best, I want to live the best. There was this acronym that came to me, and I feel like it was just a divine download, and it was beyond established systems and times. Best, beyond established systems and times. That word came to me, and it really shaped how I showed up, how I thought about things. What is the best? Is this the best for me? Is this the best relationship? Is this the best situation? Is this the next level that I see myself? Because when I left the country in 2017 to 2018, I obeyed a goal that was in my spirit. And that goal took me on a trip around the world. I went to 12 different countries. I was in Europe for 3 months, Asia for 3 months, and then I was in South and Central America for 6 months on a go. And then I heard next. And I've just really been seeking what is my next? What is my next? And then all of these things have come to me along the way. And best, again, beyond established systems and times. Because a lot of times we think about the best in terms of name brands, the cost, who's wearing it, who's doing it, what sets me apart. But I just got a new definition of what that means. And it doesn't have anything to do with the price tag. As a matter of fact, it is priceless. When you step into your soul goal, your soul has a goal, and that is to prosper. We are to prosper as our soul prospers. And so when I did my hand to heart, again, it was best, beyond established systems and times. And so that is reflected in my work and the content that I share. I want my clients, when they walk in the door, I want them to experience their best voice. And we've talked about vocal warm ups. We've talked about different exercises, how not to say, how to get rid of hoarseness, how to prevent hoarseness, how to project and have a more powerful voice. And all of these things are the mechanics of having a healthy voice. But when it comes to your best voice, we want to tap in and look at some things. And I wrote some notes for this tonight because I wanted to make sure I shared this. When my clients come to me, I like to know what's important. Why is it important to you to have your best voice, or to have a healthy voice, or to be able to communicate and share your ideas? And most people share from their place of purpose, their place of passion, and their goals. Whether you want to start a business, whether you are currently in a business and you want to pitch, you are an entrepreneur, whether you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, your voice is a tool that connects us to other humans. So it's about networking, negotiating your value. It's about expressing your ideas. And it's so tied to our emotions. Your voice is tied to your emotions. It's tied to how you show up in the world, how you express your ideas. And when people come to me, I recognize that's what they're seeking. They're seeking a better way to leverage their voice. They want to unleash their voices. They're tired of their voice hindering them, whether it's an accent, whether they feel like their voice is weak. And let me go back to accent. Not saying that an accent is a problem, first and foremost, but some people feel like that's a thing that can definitely hold them back. And other people can judge them and make assumptions just because of their accent. And we know that's not cool. That's not fair. Everybody has an accent, first of all, no matter what country you're from, no matter what part of, well, I'm speaking for the US, but I meet people all over. But no matter where you're from, you have an accent, and it's influenced by your culture and your surroundings, the region around you, how things are said, and how you express yourself. So, first of all, let's get that out there. Drop in. I see people are dropping in the chat. Ann join, Pam join, herself Lovey join, Demel join. A lot of people have joined, and I say hello, good evening. This is our final class in our 6-week series. And tonight we're talking about embracing your best voice. But again, when people come to me, they come to me for a solution. And there's somewhere they're trying to go. There's something they're trying to achieve, but they feel like their voice in some shape, form, or fashion is getting in the way. It could be a speech impediment. It could be the actual physical voice because the voice is hoarse, because you're experiencing tiredness, you're experiencing fatigue, and some people are experiencing all out pain from speaking. So if you're using your voice, overloading it, overworking it, maybe you feel like your thoughts are unorganized when you're speaking, whatever it is, I can go down a whole list of things that would cause you to hold back your voice, not share your ideas, not share your thoughts. We talk about it, but ultimately it's about what it's keeping people from in their lives. And so that's my question to you. Have you ever felt hindered in any way by your voice? Have you ever felt that your voice has hindered you? Have you ever felt like your speech has hindered you, that has kept you from achieving a goal, a dream, your purpose, your passion? Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. I want you to think of a time when you either lost your voice or you freely gave it away. And let me know how how did that feel? How did it feel in that moment, knowing that it was your time to share? It was a time to stand up, knowing that you had a message or a solution that could have shifted the atmosphere, that could have been a game changer in that situation. Or so that would be the impact of your voice. Or you had an opportunity to influence a decision or influence someone to do something or to make a very important connection, and you just walked away from the opportunity because you didn't feel confident in yourself, you didn't feel confident in your voice. Think about that. Thank you so much for the rose. I appreciate the gifts. I appreciate the love these last 6 weeks. I hope that you have gained something from this and you've been practicing. Okay, Chris said, my first gig, singing gig, my voice literally closed. Nerves can make that happen. Strain, stress can make that happen. I have these type conversations with my clients on a regular basis, and we work through those things. We look at what I call the ask, your attitude, and that's just not do you have an attitude, right? Or your attitude towards it, but your behaviors, your thoughts. Have you experienced some type of trauma that impacts your voice? Oh, it was the singer. Okay, Tank was there. Okay, I probably would have lost my voice there too. I don't know what I would have done, especially if he showed up and I needed to sing and I needed to perform. Welcome to my people over on YouTube. We're chatting and we're thinking through it. Oh my goodness, that's a good one. What did you do, Chris, to get your voice back? Did you recover or did you stay in that stuck point? Because sometimes you're in the moment, and what I discussed today was not about not feeling the fear. And I know most people have heard, if you're into any type of personal development, but feel the fear and do it anyway. But that's easier said than done. But how do you move through it? How do you do it? Honestly, when you're frozen. And so I want to get into ways that we silence or ways that we can self silence. Chris said he did not recover that night and the moment was lost. See that part? And you were young. Now, if you had it to do all over again, Chris, do you think you could stand in that moment and you can provide what the moment demands? That's a good one. That is a very, 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 very good one. Whether it's your singing voice, whether it's your speaking voice, nerves can play a big role in that. And learning tools to help you get grounded, be prepared in the moment, stay in your body. Because what happens when you're experiencing that fear, there's this disconnect, which is why we talked about grounding exercises to help you stay in your body. And even if something happens, okay, heck yeah, yep, I'm almost fearless now, that part. And so even when you're, like you said, you're skilled, you're seasoned. Okay, well, speaking, I still don't like to speak, but singing, I'm fearless. I appreciate your transparency. Well, guess what? Now you know a speaking voice coach. And it's those same techniques that you use when you're singing, it's being able to transfer it. And when we see our voice as something separate from our bodies, separate from our purpose, our passion, our dreams, and those kind of things, that's when we can easily lose control in those moments, or what I talk about, stay in the driver's seat. It's staying in the driver's seat. So not allowing fear to drive in those moments, but it's that feeling the fear and still being able to stay grounded, stay focused, and function and show up and give what the moment demands. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the hearts. I appreciate the love. Yes. Some of you have rocked with me for the last few weeks, and this is week 6. This is it. This is the final class in this 6-week series, and we're talking about it. So ways that we self-silence, or ways that our voice can hinder us, that transcend vocal health, right? Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Those are ways that fear shows up. So that's that big word, fear, the F word, fear. Fear can get in the way. It could be a high level of fear where you're totally shut down. It could be a little bit of nerves where you feel the butterflies in your stomach. Some people get sweaty palms. You're sweating underneath. You're sweating. Your forehead is sweating. You feel like your throat is tight. You feel that your chest is tight. You feel like you just want to run out of your skin. You want to run out of the room. I've had people that say they can feel it when they know their time is coming up, or maybe you're caught off guard by a question, because this has happened to me a long time ago, and it caught me off guard that it caught me off guard because I was in a meeting. I planned for the meeting. I prepared. I felt like I was in a room full of supporters. I felt like I was in a room full of allies, and somebody just came out the gate with a lot of weird questions that really threw me off, and I felt it right here. So when you feel that fear in your body, you can feel it somewhere. I felt it in my throat, and I even stuttered a little bit before I recognized what was happening, and I did a reset, which is what I teach my clients. And I just exhale. I took a breath, but for that moment, I was like, did she just ambush me? I literally felt ambushed in that moment. Ah, Chris said he's a fawner. Okay. So yeah. So what does that look like? The fear again. We know fight. Sometimes you can fight through it. And flight, you're gonna run. That means you're gonna avoid it altogether. You won't go to the meeting. You'll allow them to skip your turn. You might have something amazing to say. And I've heard people say when they're using certain words that don't really come out right for them, they'll just substitute a whole different word. So many ways. They stay quiet. Maybe they're really not a quiet person, but they are so afraid to speak in these situations that they don't say anything. They shut down. And then also, so we said fight, we said flight, freeze. Again, that's the shutdown, and fawn. You make jokes and maybe you're not doing anything that's serious. And then here's something else. We play small. We don't go big. We might show up, but we're not showing up fully. You're not showing up in your full power. And what I tell my clients is when they're allowing their voices to fade or they're allowing their voices to go weak or cutting it off at the end, is that if it's worth saying, it's worth saying with full energy. If you're opening your mouth to speak, it is worth saying with full energy. But what happens sometimes, again, we just let it fade on out, and we have various ways that we hide. So I'm getting some messages. I thank you all for tuning in. If this content is helpful for you, make sure you share it. I want to see some hearts. I appreciate the gifts. I thank you all so much for tuning in here. So we're talking about ways that we can self-silence. And so when we are in fear, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. All right, so then we're going to move on. So you're asking yourself those questions. When was the last time we've thought about that? What's holding you back? And then also, more importantly, what do you want? Chris, what do you want? Andrea, what do you want that you feel like your voice could potentially hold you back from? So if you're a singer, if you are a speaker, you want to have your best voice. So beyond established systems and times. And that also looks like tapping into your unique voice, because we all have our own unique voice print that is as unique as our fingerprints. You don't have to sound like the next person. You sound like you, the best version. Okay. You want to be understood. Exactly. Want to be understood. Want to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to be understood. We want to feel loved. And that voice is that tool where we connect to other people. Just to hear the voice of somebody you love can be one of the best feelings, especially if you're going through a tough time, it's a hard day, or if you're already having an amazing day. To hear that sound of somebody's that special person, to hear their voice, it's just the icing on the cake. It's a highlight. Okay, you don't speak as well as you would like. Okay, so speaking is different. So then singing that's your form of expression. Do you feel like you step into a different persona when you're singing? What's the difference there? So you want to feel confident. Right. Okay. You want to feel confident. You want to feel as confident inside as maybe you are on the outside. You might appear. I don't know. Do you look like you're nervous when you're nervous? Or have you mastered just showing up and standing in it? Mm-hmm. Singing, you step into a different power. Like singing, you have the room. What if I told you that you can tap into that same power when you're speaking? You can command the room. Think about your favorite speaker and what you like about them, or someone who you feel is commanding. But you would find that for yourself, right? They probably have their thing, you find your thing. All right. So, as we get into embracing your best voice, I will say we know, we see, we feel what's going on right now. I can just say in this country and all around, I feel like tensions are high in a lot of ways, and people have taken sides in different areas. And there's uncertainty in the workspace. And people have also decided that they are just going to go for it. Whatever it is, whatever that thing is that they've been desiring, people. So we have a couple ends of the spectrum, right? So we have fear, even the fear index when it comes to the stock market. Fear is at an all time high. And it's important to get grounded in who you are, to get focused on, again, your soul goal. As I mentioned, your soul has a goal, and it's to prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So to prosper and be in good health. Say that again. So to prosper, so your soul even wants to prosper. And what that looks like is a direct and easy way. What is the direct and easy way for you and for your life? And people are trying to figure that out. And there are a lot of voices in the wind, and sometimes it's easy to get lost or feel like your voice is lost. But this is the time to speak up, to negotiate for yourself, to make the connections, to share love in a different way. And I would just say and challenge people to be the authentic best version of yourself, or be an intentional best version of yourself. Because authentic means different things to different people, but you can definitely be intentional in the spaces that you're in, and tapping into that power. So, but the world needs your voice. There's somebody who needs the message that you have to share, the song that you want to sing, the warmth that you want to provide, the strategies that you want to provide. Because again, financially, people are seeking ways to hedge, to protect, to secure where they are, to make sure that you can provide for yourself, to provide for your family, to establish a legacy. And your voice is currency. That's why I do what I do. If I have nothing else to share to with people, is to let them know that your voice is currency. It is. It can open doors to opportunities. It can get you paid, and it's an asset. And tapping into the full potential of your voice will allow you to have more impact, influence, and income. And that's that. All right. So, what best is calling you? So tonight is just about questions. It's reflection. Tonight is the final class. It's reflections. It's thinking about some things. It's thinking about the deeper meaning of your voice. I don't do this just because I want to show you some exercises and some tongue twisters. It's not just about doing things that seem fun, doing things that seem helpful. I understand that it's about your purpose. It's about what you hope to accomplish. I understand that it's about your dreams. I take it very seriously. Sometimes I try to keep it light so that we can digest it and people can get in and do the exercises and they'll want to practice. But it's bigger than that, it's deeper than that. Okay. So you said creating content has been the biggest challenge, and you put your shoulder to it this year. See, that's what you're going all in. So creating the content. I need to check out your content. I'll go check it out and see how it's going. I want to see your progression. So yeah, your voice. So you've decided to step up, create the content, do that in a different way, be intentional about that. Very intentional. Very intentional. That's all I can say. Be very intentional about it. All right. So fill in the blank. I'm getting my voice back too, because if you've identified that there are ways that you mute yourself, self silence, or that you just totally don't show up and shine when you know it's your time to show up and shine, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing it. We're going to reset and you're going to show up. You're going to show up bigger, stronger, and better. Exactly. It is sink or swim, and people are feeling that in different ways. It is sink or swim time. All right. So I'm going to give you 5 things. So I want you to consider this. So in getting your voice back and having your best beyond established systems and times, the voice, VOICE. V is vocalize. Vocalize. That means use your voice. If you have to do it with your voice shaking, you do it. Do it until you learn the proper strategy. Do it. Vocalize. Be vocal. Verbally express yourself. That's the V in voice, in having your best voice. It means you vocalize. It means when you're in the meeting and you have something to say and you know that it is important, it is a game changer, it can shift the atmosphere, the environment, it is the missing piece. Challenge yourself to vocalize. Be vocal. Be vocal despite your accent. Be vocal despite how you feel about your voice, because a lot of people hate the sound of their own voice. Be vocal anyway. And if you need to write it down and make a quick little note about it when you know your turn is coming, so that way if you get stuck and the words slip away or you feel like you can't organize your thoughts, make some bullet points. Write the main statement in 3 things about it. Write that. Write one word. So that means if you want to build a thought around that one word, you can build a thought around that one word. But vocalize. Challenge yourself to do that. Even if you keep it short and sweet. If you didn't do it before, do it now. If you want to do content and you're trying to do more videos, do a 30-second video. Script it out. Get it in your head. I don't memorize. I don't do well with memorizing things. One, because my memory is just not that great. But I make notes. Like today, I knew there were some things I wanted to say and it was important to me. I knew I had a certain amount of time and I didn't want to ramble too much. I wanted to be able to talk to you all, answer questions, but also share the things that I felt were important for me to share tonight. Yeah, make some notes. I don't know if you've ever seen on a panel or on some type of news show where the host, is writing notes. Make some notes. But the key is to vocalize. So that's number 1. Vocalize. Just be found using your voice. And the more you use your voice, the more you can tweak it, the more you get used to it. You can vocalize to yourself. Make that 30-second video for yourself and then just record it. Watch and listen to yourself before you even put it out. Just do that to get used to the sound of your own voice, because I would be willing to believe that most people who are not making content, they're not making it because they're judging the sound of their own voice. They're afraid of how they might sound on camera. They're going to think that they sound, insert this. I sound whatever. Some people say, I think I sound dumb. I think my voice sounds weak. I think my voice sounds raspy. I think my voice sounds shaky. I think my voice sounds like a child. I think my voice is too deep. It's too squeaky. It's too whatever you want to put in there. And so you're already prejudging your own voice. When people have not heard your voice before, but it's about the message. It's about the message that you want to share. V, vocalize. Again, keep it short, and then you can build up and just continue to grow from there. My first videos, when I look back at videos I created, it's just been an evolution for me. And I'm still evolving, trying to find the perfect equipment, how to stream, how to do this. And I'm just embracing iteration. That's it. Just doing it in levels. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So the second thing in finding your best voice is the O, ownership. Ownership. Get grounded. Be strong in who you are. Be strong in your purpose and be strong in your voice. Nobody can do it like you do it. You have your own unique perspective. There are other voice coaches, vocal coaches out there. They're teaching on different things. There are singing voice coaches. There are style coaches. There are people who focus on speaking, public speaking. There's so many people doing so many things. And sometimes we see other people and we're watching other people in our industries or in our areas, and we feel like that it could be no room for our voice. There is room for your voice. There is a crowd, there is an audience for you. Whether it's an audience of one or an audience of 1,000, it's just a matter of believing that because you have a message, especially if you believe in calling and purpose, and if you feel like you've been called to share a message and to show up and to say things, even if there is one person in the room or in the crowd, that message was meant for them. And that's just that. I have a friend that works in media, and she was telling me about Kevin Hart. And he performed before he became well known. He did a comedy show, and I forgot how many people she said showed up to the show, but it was a small number compared to the crowds that Kevin Hart draws now. But she said he showed up and he performed like it was a packed house. And we get to that point. I think social media helps us to launch out, develop our style, figure out some things. We get to play around with it. That's the positive side of it. On the other side, it also can get you caught up looking at what other people are doing. And it makes you not want to do anything. But take ownership of your voice, of you. You're here for a reason, and the world needs to hear your voice. I'm so glad. Chris said this is all really good and timely. So, yes, it's very important now more than ever. So, vocalize, take ownership, stand up within yourself. That's the main thing. When I talk about voice, it's inside and outside. Inside, and the things we talked about in when I discussed fear, those things can be drivers, but we want to make sure that you stay in the driver's seat. That fear is not driving. It's too important. This is a very important time. It's critical. It's been important, but right now it's more critical. It's more crucial to share your story, to be heard, and and be intentionally heard, not to be heard just for the sake of just being out there and being another voice, like I said, being another voice in the wind, but intentionally be heard. Share your message. And then the I. So VO, now we're on the I. It's identity. Who are you? Whose are you? If you're spiritual and you are a believer, but we all were born with the blueprint. Tap into your vocal identity. Some people's voices are soft, and some people's voices are very loud. But what is your voice? And then also think about what your voice is saying about you, and make sure it's carrying the message you want it to carry. But think about your vocal identity. Does your vocal identity match who you feel you are, who you say you are? Are you aligned in that? And so right now we're chatting. I mean, this is just us. We're back and forth. We're talking about your voice, helping you to own it. Tap into your vocal identity. I don't have to sound like Oprah or anybody else. I don't know. Think of somebody else. Who is your person? You admire their voice. Definitely when it comes to singing. And if you've been on any of my lives, you've heard me say, I'm from a family of singers. My mom and her siblings sing, gospel groups, very talented, things like that. I didn't get that gene. I'll speak all day long. Give me a mic, I'll speak. Give me a mic and ask me to sing, Chris, it will probably be a role reversal. I might do it in a good karaoke setting, but singing is just not my thing. And I was told by my friend who is a vocal coach, a singing voice coach. I send my clients to her. So I do the voice therapy when they're rehabbing their voices, and then when they're ready to integrate those skills into their singing voices to help bridge the gap, I send them to her. But she said most people can't sing because they believe they can't sing. And she doesn't believe in being tone deaf and all of that kind of stuff. But I would get nervous about that. But it doesn't matter. I'm not expected to sing like my mother or my family or the people who are good at it. I'm no Beyonce, but I'll sing it. I'll enjoy it, or whoever it is that I really like and I appreciate. No Whitney Houston, no Adele, none of the things. That's right, Chris. Vocal coach as well. That's my platform. Exactly. So it's the opposite. So I'll speak all day long, but I've tapped into my vocal identity. I understand my voice. I understand my range. And when I learn to yield to my voice and to my passion and to my message, honestly, I don't even trip about my voice. But know that I grew up in small town Louisiana. Know that those kind of things used to concern me. I remember when I thought I wanted to do accent modification or accent reduction. I had one of the people in my profession to pretty much tell me I would not be a good model because of where I'm from. And I was told that that's more for people in the Midwest, that it didn't fit me. Well, I'm not that type of person. You can't just tell, you cannot tell me that I can't do something, especially when I feel called to it. And so you have to understand that I had to tap into who I was, and I had to come to that level of understanding and growth in it. And actually, it didn't take long because I just didn't like her telling me that. That didn't feel right. I knew that I could still be helpful, and I knew that something in me knew that if I just show up and use my voice, that somebody can identify with it. And beyond that, I'm not trying to teach anybody to talk like me. I'm trying to teach them to use their best voice. You don't have to talk like Ted, right? Or as I say, toast like the master. I'm not trying to teach you to sound like anybody. I'm trying to help you maximize your voice, maximize your gift. That's it. So vocalize. Find yourself using your voice. Take ownership. So stand up within yourself. An identity. Know that nobody has your voice. They don't have your sauce. They don't have your experience. And that's the unique spin that you bring. That is your unique proposition. And you do it in the way that you do it. You share it in the way that you share it. Whether your voice is raspy, or soft or loud. You just learn to hone and maximize the gift that you have. All right. And then C, clarity. Having your best voice requires clarity. One, clarity about your message, clarity about your audience, and then actual physical clarity, which is why we went over things like tongue twisters and speech exercises to help you stretch your tongue, open up your jaw so that you have the mechanics to share a very clear message, to articulate your thoughts clearly. That's what I'll say about that. And if you all have questions, drop your questions. Let me know if this content is helpful to you. We have just a few more minutes and then I'm getting off, and this will be the end of our 6-week series. And then the E, finally, embrace Just embrace your voice. Love it. You're going to have good voice days and not so good voice days, depending on how you use it and how you take care of it. And some days we just can be tired and stumble over our words, and our voices can be tired. Like today, my voice, I've been busy. It's been a busy work week. While I'm doing Hillman Talk University, I'm also working on my doctorate. So in class, making different changes in my business, because I'm also going and I'm stepping out bigger. But I noticed when I got on, I had to be more intentional with my articulation, because sis is tired today, tired this week. And I'm just embracing, this is me. I'm showing up. This is my voice. This is the best voice that I have to give, and I love it. And I'm still me. I know that I'm going to sound like me. You said you could listen to me all day. Well, thank you. But yeah, I'm just here. You get to embrace your voice. Again, whether it's a good day, whether it's a not so good day, whether you feel like you're stumbling over your words, whether you feel like your tongue is tied or your thoughts are disorganized, or just you're having a moment, you can always choose to reset and be intentional. Those are the things that I would like for you to take with you. Reset. That's what I tell my clients. So if you're having a moment and you feel like your breathing is not right, you're trapping the air in your chest, or you're not projecting the way you want to project, or if your message is not landing the way you want it to land, you can choose to reset at any moment. And that goes for life. Honestly, that goes for life. You get to choose. You can reset at any given time. And just use your breath. The breath is so powerful. Reset. And that reset gives your brain something to do to shift, so that you're in the driver's seat. You're staying connected to your body, and you can make better decisions. And that helps you too with the ums and those filler words. If you're staying connected to your body, and even if it takes off and goes a different direction, you reset. Leverage the pause. Such an amazing thing. A pause in life, a pause in your speech. Reset. Embrace your voice. Love your voice. Do it, Chris. Do it. And then let me know. So, yeah, Chris said he's going to DM Tank and tell him that he choked in front of him in 2003. Do it. Share your story. That's going to be liberating. Get that off of you. There you go. Reset it. And what would you have done? So, were you going to sing a song? Was it an opportunity to speak? What were you going to do? And just, I would, yeah, do it and let me know. I love a good redemption story. Do it. Do it. Do it. All right. So, I'm going to close out with how to have your best voice. It starts from the inside out. You're going to tap in. Know what's calling you. I say, what's calling you? That's your purpose. That's your soul goal. There's something. And if you can't figure it out, I forgot to share this with you all. Hand to heart, you just get still, get quiet. And these questions I threw out there, ask those questions. What does my soul want? What does my best voice look like? I will use my voice to, and just fill in the blank. Fill in the blank and do it. And then know that you're going to vocalize, take ownership, tap into your vocal identity, speak with clarity, and you're going to embrace your voice. Oh my goodness, Chris. Yes. Do it. Just share it and then let me know how it goes. For sure. You were just excited about that moment. You were overwhelmed in the moment. Yeah, go back. spin the block on Tank and see what happens. Why not? As I close out this 6-week series on voice mastery and vocal health, oh, I'm going to pump you up for sure. I'll hype you up, hype your bestie up. But yeah, as I close out this series on voice mastery and vocal health for the public speaker, I thank you for those people who have tuned in. Show some love if you have gained something from this. You've taken some information that you can implement. Definitely share content. If you haven't checked out anything on my page, I have vocal warm-ups, I have tongue twisters, I have other videos that you can check out on my TikTok page. I have some things over here on my YouTube page, even some longer form videos and a few podcasts. Getting ready to bring the podcast back, trying to find the right time to do it because this is busy. But sitting here and having sharing this time with you all definitely made me feel like, okay, it's time. Because I want to bring people on. I love to teach and talk about this, but I love to talk back. Thank you. My YouTube is at Shalonda Gibson, SHULUNDA GIBSON. So the same as my TikTok name, it's the same on YouTube. Again, you can get same thing, tongue twisters, a couple of old podcasts, and the podcast, I'm revamping that. But get some information. Stay tuned in. I have a newsletter. If you want to be on my newsletter and get some tips, I'm talking about the 8 dimensions of having a dynamic voice. So the voice matrix, or you're tapping into your vocal assets. You can find me on LinkedIn as well at Shalonda Gibson over there, or go to my website, ShalondaGibson.com, and sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get the content straight to your Alexa is hearing me and trying to chat. But yeah, tune in, stay connected with me, and you'll know what I have going on. Again, podcast. I'm putting this out there. If I say it, I want to stay true to my word. So it's coming. It's just a matter of time, maybe Q2. So, but thank you all so much for tuning in. And then also, if you want to book a session, you can do that also through the website, ShalondaGibson.com. Link in my bio also has a way for you to connect. And I will share with you strategy based on the conversations that we have. You can sign up. Actually, I almost forgot about this, but I created a vocal warm-up mini session where you can get a 30-minute session where maybe that's all some people need. You just need to tap in, get some feedback, and we'll go over 3 exercises that you can put in your toolkit, but customized exercises, because there's so many that you could do. But we'll talk through what your goals are, and I would give you 3 exercises that will help you to heal, love, and unleash your voice. So stay tuned in, stay connected, look for more videos, and who knows, maybe I'll keep this live up, but I wanted to commit for 6 weeks. I did it. Yay. Thank y'all for hanging in there. And that's all I have. If you have any other questions, hit me up in my DM saying lead so that I know, because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. Hit me up and kind of title it Embrace Your Best Voice, so I'll know that legit you were on my live and you have questions and it's not spam. But yes, DM me. Let's stay connected and book a class. I would love to see your face and I would love to hear your voice. Thank you again for tuning in. My name is Shalonda Gibson. ShalondaGibson.com. I am your voice whisperer. And this concludes our Hillman Talk 6-week course.